Greetings and konnichiwa, and welcome back to the Onyx Tavern Vlog series on Power Rangers Dino Charge. I'm your host, Rick the Barkeep, and today we're going to be talking about episode number 8, Double Ranger, Double Danger. Now this episode really has 3 different plots going on with it, 2 of which are actually set up for things we're going to go ahead and see down the line, and 1 plot with what's actually happening in the episode. And to be honest, as an episode by itself, it's okay. There's nothing really bad about it or technically wrong with it or anything. But the most interesting parts of this episode, again, are set up for things that are becoming later down the line, not actually what the title is about, basically. So let's actually talk about the plot and the 3 different stories that we have going on with it. First off, the name Double Ranger, Double Danger has to do with the monster who's making clones of the Power Rangers. So the Rangers are actually trying to find the Terrazord, the Gold Ranger Zord, and they're using the E-Tracer, which I'm glad that they've established this, and now that we have it back, we're going to continue to go ahead and use it until it's destroyed at the end of the episode, of course. But they're trying to find the next Zord. And in order to get their hands on the E-Tracer, Porsandra uses Ranger clones to deceive Tyler so she can go ahead and get a hold of it. So throughout the episode, 4 of our Rangers are going after the clones, fighting them, taking care of those guys, while Tyler is trying to get back into the action, and he ends up fighting Fury. And at the same time, Fury's trying to basically one-up Poisandra, because, again, as you recall, he had 65 million years to find a single air gem. He has yet to do that, and Poisandra, in her first attempt, was able to get a hold of the E-Tracer and start looking for one of the Zords. So he really feels that he needs to one-up her, get back, and show Sledge that he is worth something. But again, after 65 million years, and you can't find a single one, I would find you pretty worthless myself. So that's pretty much what we got going on. We got Tyler, we got Fury, and we got the other Rangers. Now, I would call this the B plot, because it seems to me that this episode's A plot is focused on Tyler, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But the plot about the clones and all that, you know, the thing is, if you're going to make evil Ranger clones, do something unique and interesting with them. I mean, here's the thing. In Mighty Morphin, we had 2 episodes in which we had evil Rangers, besides, of course, the Green Ranger saga, but like clones of the Rangers. One was with the Twin Man, where they tried to soil the teen's reputation and, you know, destroy the city and attack everybody. And then we had the Mutant Rangers, which was pretty much an all-out brawl between the 2 Ranger teams. And actually, to be honest, Mighty Morphin Mutants, that is like one of my favorite episodes of the first season of Mighty Morphin. Probably of Power Rangers of all time. I don't know why. It's just a great action episode. Nonetheless, I think they really did things with the evil Rangers in those episodes. And of course, as we all know, the Psycho Ranger saga, where, you know, the counterparts to our main Rangers. The rest of the time, evil Rangers, they're kind of hit or miss. Yeah, you had the Shadow Rangers in Turbo. In, you know, Ninja Storm, in Dino Thunder, you turn the Ninja Storm Rangers against the Dino Charge Rangers, or excuse me, the Dino Thunder Rangers. But I'm saying it's like, you know, one-on-one counterparts. I mean, they were so minor in Wild Force that they were defeated by the end of the episode. They were like introduced in the second act and they were gone. Clone Rangers can be good, but you really got to do something unique and interesting with them, is the ultimate point that I'm getting to. And I really think that since the Psycho Rangers, we haven't really done anything particularly interesting. Again, we've done some things, but nothing really of highlight and notice in my mind. Now, that being said, this episode is taken directly from the Sentai footage, and the danger that these clones represent are really to the Rangers themselves. Yes, they use them to trick Tyler, but beyond that, they're just fighting the other 4 Rangers, trying to confuse them, disorient them. So I just didn't find it that interesting or that engaging. Now, of course, I liked how they utilized the flowers from the Sentai footage and tied in to Chase's character. That was very well done, because we've established that with his character, and I think it was a pretty funny moment of the episode, so no problems there. But that plot, I really, you could have put anything else in here and tried another way to get hold of the E-Tracer, but yeah, it was just okay, just nothing to really write home about. What I think actually is the A story here is what we have with Tyler, because when Tyler actually started this episode, it suddenly made me realize that Tyler's kind of been a non-factor in the series up to this point. Because look at, we've had episodes focused on Shelby, Chase, Riley, Coda. We've had all these episodes focusing on them. We really haven't touched on Tyler since the first episode, and that was really establishing his backstory. And now we open the episode with him inner monologuing and talking about, who everybody else is, which is kind of odd because we focused on everybody else. We know who they are, but we really don't know who Tyler is. So it's kind of an odd way of setting it up. But what we have in the episode is that he ends up confronting Fury, and we find out that he and Fury have a tie together because something with Tyler's father. Now, this is not the focus of the episode. Tyler talked about in the first episode in which he was introduced. He talks about in this episode, but this is obviously set up for something that is coming later down the line. Now, what that something is, I'm not quite sure. I can speculate based on the Sentai footage because right now they seem to be going in that direction, but there is something going on with Fury and his father. What that is, again, we're going to go ahead and find out. I just hope it's interesting, is what I'd like to go ahead and say. We also get something with Fury happening in this episode. He attempts to kill Tyler, but he is stopped from doing so. Basically, this gold energy takes a hold of him, and he utters the line, "I'm in control." Now, for any of you who have not seen Kyurager, this is probably going to be spoilers for you because I see exactly where they're going here, and I have a couple of things I want to say about that. Okay, so in Kyurager, Fury's counterpart had actually basically taken a hold of the Gold Ranger's body back during the Warring States era in Japan. Fury in the Kyurager footage is basically, I guess you would call him a symbiote. He has to live off another life form in order to go ahead and continue to exist, and that's something he does within the series. So what this is telling me here is that just like they did in Sentai, Fury, inside of Fury, is our Gold Ranger, and that the Gold Ranger is struggling to get out, which is why he hesitated and he has to utter the line, "I am in control." Now this is further backed up by the fact that when they destroy the E-Tracer, he gets a hold of the Gold Dino, or the Gold Charger, and he's going after the pterodactyl Dino Charge Zord. Which is pretty much exactly what happened in the Sentai footage. How he got it is a little bit different. But the point is, they seem to be going the same direction as they did in Kyurager. And the thing is, maybe they'll surprise me. Maybe it'll be something different. But right now, just based on the evidence at hand, it seems like it's almost going to be beat for beat. And the thing is, Kyu Gold really wasn't that interesting in the Japanese version. I'd say he was one of the weaker characters. I mean, we had 10 Ranger characters plus their future descendants. And he really was the weakest of all those guys. Hopefully they won't write him the same. I mean, they've been really good on characterization up to this point. Again, Tyler being somewhat the weak link at this point, just because we haven't focused on him. But once we get to this guy, I would definitely like to see something interesting happen and not go no from the Japanese footage. Then again, it's entirely possible that the Gold Ranger could indeed be Tyler's father. Who knows? I mean, maybe they'll throw that curveball in there. But again, this goes back to how this is all set up. The story itself is not that interesting, but the fact that Fury has a connection with Tyler's father, the fact that the E-Tracer is destroyed, so the Rangers have no way of finding new Zords. Fury has the Gold Charger. He knows where the Gold Zord is. There's something going on inside of Fury. All of that is going to be set up for what's happening next. And this episode is actually the mid-season final. We're going on hiatus, I think, for a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. And then we'll get to the second half of episodes, the rest of them, as we continue on through the series, ending out this year. So really, the placement of this is pretty good. It's, like they set up the mystery. Now, no new Power Rangers for a couple of months, so see ya when we get back after the summer. So that's an interesting way of doing it. I also want to go ahead and point out the way that Fury gets a hold of the Gold Charger is rather interesting as well. Now, Again, in the Kyoryuger footage, the boss army already had the Charger. They had already basically corrupted it and had control of the Zord. But in this version, it's still missing. As far as we know, it has not bonded to anybody yet. Again, we'll see what happens with whatever's inside Fury. But Fury's able to get it because he stole the E-Tracer from Poisandra, and of course Poisandra stole it from the Rangers. What I like about this is it sets up consequences for the Rangers. They were tricked, they were duped into losing the E-Tracer, basically, and now... And they destroy the E-Tracer, but they couldn't destroy the Charge, and now Fury has it, and he's going to go ahead and get a hold of the new Dino Charge Zord. So what I'm hoping will play out here, and the same thing I said in Ninja, is that I'm hoping they're setting up consequences, because Tyler says at the end of the episode that he's sorry that he ever believed those Ranger fakes were real, you guys are the real deal, and all that kind of stuff, something to that effect. But what happens when Fury gets a hold of the Zord and starts wreaking havoc on the city? Then how is Tyler going to go ahead and feel? How guilty is he going to feel that it is my fault that he has the Charger? And to be honest, it's a fair point. It is his fault that Fury got a hold of this, because he was duped by this. And it's here's the thing. When the Dino Charge clones got into the Jeep, they didn't even say a word to him. And he just kind of accepted it. Yeah, my friends are usually chatty, but now they don't say a word and they morph, so I'm going to go ahead and trust them. That's on Tyler. That really is. I mean, because if somebody said to me, came up to me and nobody talked and just pointed where to go, I would be a little concerned with that. So, is this going to come back on Tyler's shoulders where something horrible is going to happen and he has to take responsibility for, is my fault that this all happened, ask forgiveness from the Rangers, or ask forgiveness for somebody that was eventually hurt by this? That's what I want to go ahead and see. That's what I'm kind of interested in seeing happening here. Just a couple of other notes that were kind of interesting throughout the episode. I like the addition that they put in here of the helmet interface. As Tyler's driving on his motorcycle, he's got a little monitor in there where he can see Dr. Morgan, and then he's got like a little map thing in there. I really like that. That's something that has been used in previous Ranger seasons. I think the first time we ever saw something like that was in Power Rangers in Space, and then sparingly throughout the decades, but great addition, because I always thought that something like that was kind of needed. Kind of a little Iron Man, RoboCop, Terminator. That's who first had the Terminator kind of thing, where you can scan and have video messages and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. So great addition that they've added in there. And in the last episode, we had the first reference to poop in Power Rangers, and in this episode, I don't think it's the first time we have fart in Power Rangers, but it's certainly the first time that we referenced farting, and the first time I think Zords have ever farted. So, there you go. There is the lowbrow humor. I don't know what that adds to the episode, because, you know what? The thing is, Dr. Morgan said it was noxious, toxic gas and that kind of stuff, and that's great. But then they actually had to go and spell it out and say it's fart and actually add like a sound effect in there, and I don't know, guys. That of all the things that they kept from the Kyoryuger footage, I'm really surprised that they kept that. So who knows? That was quite strange. But that's all I really got here. So just to kind of summarize the whole clone thing, no, that interesting. The setup for the episode was quite good. Again, for what's going to be happening later. I just don't hope they go this exact same way as Kyoryuger. I want them to throw something a little bit different in there. And I really want to see the consequences come back to haunt Tyler for losing the E-Tracer and being tricked so easily by the clones. Other than that, again, an okay episode, not too bad, and I'm waiting for the next time that we see the Dino Charge team and what they do. So, what did you guys think? Did you like the episode? Did you hate it? Was it okay? Tell me what you guys think. But next time, whenever next time is, we'll talk about Dino Charge Episode 9, When Logic Fails. So until then, have a good evening, and the tavern is now closed.